everyone. So I want to talk about simple steps you need to take to meet your husband. Now, I've been having a lot of conversations with different women coming from different experiences dating in the DMs, and I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm seeing a pattern of lack of understanding when it comes to the right way to date for marriage. I'm seeing a pattern of engaging with toxic men that are not taking you seriously, men that you've spent years dating, and tap the hearts if this is you. You spent years dating these men and they're still coming up empty. They're not ready to commit, they're not ready to provide, they're not ready to provide any form of protection. They're not in a position whereby both of you can build anything tangible together. I'm seeing this pattern. So I mentioned that because I want you to know you're not the only one experiencing this. This is a similar pattern I've seen talking to you all in the DMs. Like I said, I'm here to make sure that you're in alignment with your own marital manifestation. That is your own marital journey. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Tolu. I'm a Christian relationship counselor. I specialize in helping professional Christian women connect with their husbands by changing the way they date. Okay, that's what I do. That's what I've been doing for the past close to 10 years now. And I want to talk to you about simple steps to, meet your husband. First thing I want you to understand is you can hurt and heal at the same time. Please, I want you to get that. You can hurt and heal at the same time. So, I'm seeing this pattern whereby you're assuming that because you dealt with a toxic ex, or you dealt with somebody that wasn't taking you seriously, or somebody that wasted your time, that was abusive in some form, because you're healing, you are having this impression that you cannot date. You can hurt and heal at the same time. I just want to echo that. If you sprained your leg or your ankle, literally right now, I sprained my ankle, so I've not been able to work out in close to a week. My trainer is tired of me. Hi, Sam, if you're watching this. I've not been able to work out in close to a week because, I don't want to stress my ankle. But it doesn't mean I've stopped walking everywhere. It doesn't mean I've stopped, movement. It doesn't mean I'm incapable of doing certain tasks by myself. It just means there's a limited mobility going on. But mobility is important, as I've been told, to heal a sprained ankle. And it's getting better, okay? My ankle is definitely getting better. I was even able to do a couple of exercises. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I'm not even sure. But I was able to do a couple of exercises. I was able to, start back my routine of working out, get back into it. I give this example to show you that just because your heart is broken doesn't mean that you can't go on dates. It doesn't mean that you can't engage with other men. It doesn't mean you can't build quality connections, quality conversations. Now, back to the example of my leg, that is my ankle that's sprained. I'm not running. I'm not doing any rigorous exercise, but I'm definitely doing a bit of weightlifting. I'm definitely doing some walking. I'm making sure I like heels a lot. I'm making sure I'm wearing flats all the time, but I am mobile. It's the same way with dating. Okay, I want you to get that. And I keep singing it because I've seen a lot of women make this mistake, assuming that because, I just came out of a toxic relationship, I just had to, block my ex. So I'm not good enough for anyone right now. That's not true. You are in a space where you are healing, but it doesn't mean that you can't have conversations with men. It doesn't mean you can't interact. It doesn't mean you can't engage. And that's why with Wife in Waiting, we are very clear with our sisters on how we want them to approach the curriculum. We're very practical. We give you tasks to make sure that you are implementing. I don't believe in theoretical teaching. To make sure that you are practical about the dating process and you are implementing the steps that we've put in place to allow you to connect with your spouse easily. I recently welcomed new sisters and I was just catching up with them. Some sisters were sharing how, different things. They're thinking about their dating differently. They fully understand where they are in their dating journey. They're connecting with men. They're making a bold step, stepping outside their comfort zone. That's what being in alignment looks like. It looks like stepping outside your comfort zone. It looks like trying something new. And there's this misunderstanding when it comes to a simple step you just need to take is to start opening yourself up to conversations with men. That's the summary of what I'm trying to say. Opening yourself to conversations with men, not making any assumptions, because I'm seeing this rhetoric of assuming that as soon as you start talking to a guy, it's going to enter you. It means you're in a relationship. No. Okay, just because you're a Christian and you're dating doesn't mean that every man that approaches you and shows interest is your husband. And it doesn't mean you're his wife. You're allowed to have conversations with men. You are allowed to have conversations that rotate around having your desires met. You're allowed to have these kinds of conversations. It's completely okay to do that. It's completely okay to take your time. You're allowed to say no if a guy asks you out or if a guy asks you for exclusivity. You don't have to do what he wants. Because I'm seeing this rhetoric of, oh, I'm not in a position to give him what I feel he deserves. Who told you that? Just because you're coming out of a toxic relationship or you're healing doesn't mean that you're not healthy enough to date. And excuse the noise in my background. So that's the first thing. Secondly, a simple step to meet your husband is to make sure that you are conscious about your dating process. I guarantee you have patterns, unbeknown or known to you. Just like every single morning, I'm sure you have a routine. Every evening, I'm sure you have a habit. When you get to the office, I'm sure you have a ritual, which is something that you do repetitively every time you go to a particular location, in this case, the office. I'm sure there's something that you always do, whether it's, in the morning, you like listening to worship, or you like listening to a podcast, or you like making your breakfast by yourself, or you stop at a particular coffee shop to get coffee, and you know the owners of the coffee shop, or there's a particular waiter you always talk to, or on your way back from work, you stop at the gym. You have a routine. It's the same thing with dating. There is a pattern to your dating process, whether you know it or not. And the first thing we do with Wife in Waiting clients when they join our program, our Wife in Waiting program is our group coaching program where we show you how to connect with quality men by clarifying the way you date so that you know exactly the right men to be committing to. We're going through a process. We're preparing for our Wife in Waiting prayer convention, which is holding very soon. I'm doing a lot of conversations with you guys in the DMs. So if you've applied for the Wife in Waiting program, we have had some form of a conversation. So if you're interested in seeing how I can help you, send me a DM saying wife, and we'll be able to talk more about your own dating journey. But this is what I'm seeing. There's this misunderstanding around your dating process. There's this assumption that, oh yeah, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and start dating differently. No. If you don't know the way you date, if you don't understand your dating process, you are not going to do anything different. So don't be surprised if after spending 2 years out of the dating scene, you end up dating a man exactly like your ex. Don't be surprised if after going on a journey of rediscovery, self-awakening, you end up dating the exact same person as the guy that inspired that journey. Don't be surprised if after you left a toxic relationship, you end up still dating a toxic man. Because it's not about the time out you took. That's why I keep singing it. You can hurt and heal at the same time. It is not about taking a break. It is about changing the way you date. You don't need to take a break for that to happen. If I want to get a promotion at my place of work, I'm not going to be taking a break. I'm going to change my strategy. If I want to change my eating habits and my diet, I'm not going to just stop eating. And that's the problem with fad diets. If you've ever gone on one of those extreme diets, I'm sure it did not last longer than maybe 3 days to a week because your body is not used to it. You need to be gradual about the change. It's the same thing with dating. You can't expect a different result just because you took a break. That's not how it works. So you need to change the way you date. You really need to be taking a look at it. I'll tell you that for free. For you to have a change. So if you think, oh, you know what, I'm fine, I'll just take a break and it'll be okay. Sis, you're going to have the same results if you don't do something different. And taking a break is not doing anything different. Everybody can take a break. Everybody can decide that, you know what, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. That doesn't change anything. So you need to look at your dating and stop trying to avoid it. Look at where you are, how you got there, and see where you can make a shift. And if you want help with this process, if you want a map, we provide our Wife in Waiting clients. We call ourselves sisters. We provide our Wife in Waiting sisters with what I like to call a dating question map. Every sister has her own question map. Every sister has her own journey. We don't tell them the journey. We just show them the way. Because your dating process is unique to you. It's kind of like how my daily routine is not the same as your routine. So you need to be conscious of your dating process. That's another simple step. It's really simple. You just need to change the way you date. You need to look at it, audit your dating process. If you want help on this, apply to the Wife in Waiting program. Even if you don't get into the program, I will provide you with the tools to be able to see exactly how to experience a shift from where you currently stand. So that's another simple step. Here's something else I found very interesting. And like I said, I've been engaging with you guys in the DMs. Right now, I'm focused on women that are ready to do the work, professional Christian women that are tired of dating the same toxic men again and again, are ready to invest the effort, the finances, and are ready to take the work seriously. That's my sole goal right now. That's the woman I want to help. So I've been engaging with you guys in the DMs. You know, I've had a conversation with quite a number of you because I want to see how I can get you out of where you are. So if you want to see any changes, it's not by New Year's resolution or a new birthday. It's literally whenever you want it to start happening. It's not by next month, next week, next year. It's not by taking a break. Don't be surprised. And I've been doing this for close to a good 10 years. And I've not been wrong on this. I see women say, oh, you know what? Let me think about it. Let me take a break. And sis comes back with the exact same problem, multiplied. Because that's all that happens on a break. It just expands. Because guess what? You didn't do anything different. So if you think, oh, you know what? Let me just take a break from the whole dating thing. And somehow when you come back, it's magically going to be different. Don't be surprised if it's the same, just that this time it's worse. Because you thought it was going to be different, but it isn't. You're still waking up to that same reality of toxic men. You're still waking up to that same reality of men that are wasting your time. You're still waking up to that same reality of men that are wolves in sheep's clothing. You're still waking up to that same reality of another month, another year, and you're still single and you're not talking to men that you want to talk to because you didn't do anything different. You're literally just avoiding the work. And this may seem a bit harsh, but it's just the truth. It's the truth. And right now, you know, I'm in a space where I'm going to be very straightforward with you because I'm tired of seeing women approach dating like it's a hobby when marriage is not a hobby. If marriage is a desire for you, dating should be a priority. Because how are you going to get married without dating? How is that going to happen? It isn't. You need to go about your dating process as a woman of faith with your relationship with God. Pray strategically and date practically. That is the formula. And that's what we show you how to do. So none of that formula involves taking a break, reconsidering, sitting down, waiting for men to approach you. You've done that up until this point, and I'm sure it hasn't served you, has it? Because it hasn't. So, you know, you need to do something different. And that's why I say a simple step is to assess the way you date and start to do the work. And by doing the work, I don't mean listening to multiple conversations from different people. I'm saying, how does the work apply to you? Because it's the same. It's kind of like if you are watching a live, and this, you know, we share a lot of free content on here because I want to help as many women as I possibly can. I want to help as many women as I possibly, whether or not you're in a position to invest in our programs. I want to make sure that in some capacity we're providing you with help. But there's only so much that one can share on video. I share enough here to get you started, but if you want to do the work, you need to invest in yourself to see the shift. It's kind of like you don't wake up and say you want to be a lawyer. I'm an attorney. I didn't wake up one day and say I want to be a lawyer. I had to go to law school. I had to sit the bar exam. I had to get qualified before I could add Esquire to my name. I didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm an Esquire. No. It took me close to, off the top of my head, close to 6-7 years to get the privilege of that title. It didn't just drop on my lap. I didn't pray it into existence. I prayed and I did the work because faith without deeds is dead. So I don't know why I'm seeing women praying for marriage and hoping somehow it just drops on their lap. Nothing works like that. Literally nothing in life works like that. So I'm not sure why you assume your dating process should work like that. It is not going to. If it was going to, it would have worked by now, but it hasn't because it doesn't work like that. Let me take a moment to be very nice because I feel like I'm dropping a lot of truth bombs very aggressively right now. But it's the truth. I'm just telling you guys the truth because I'm just in a space where I don't have the energy to, you know, this is not where you come to if you want to be lied to. Let me put it that way. This is where you come to if you want me to tell you the truth. And if I've engaged with you in the DMs, you know that for a fact. I will literally tell you as it is. Sis, what are you doing with that guy? It doesn't make sense. What are you doing in that? What are you doing in that relationship? Why are you wasting your time? Oh, people are saying A, B, and C. So what are you going to do about it? I'm not here to cushion you, make you feel like all is going to be well. I'm here to tell you the truth. And if you don't like it, you can leave. But I'm not going to, I'm not going to change the message, because the message needs to be seen. You need to accept it. If you want to do something, if you want to see a result, you need to make a shift. It's really that simple. And my clients, some of my clients actually tell me that I'm a bit too straightforward. And my friends, but that's how I am. Okay. And that's the point. I'm just going to be real with you. You want to see a shift, then you should do the work. Look at your dating. Look at it. Stop running from it. Look at it. Okay, where do I need to do the work? And if you want help in, going through that process, digging deep, being uncomfortable, looking at where you keep making the same mistakes, I'm here to help you. We do that in the Wife in Waiting program. And even if, we look at your application, we definitely provide you with the resources of the next step. What I see is a lot of women do not take that next step, and they somehow expect applying. I just want to explain something. Waking up and saying, I'm going to be different, doesn't change anything. It doesn't do anything. Just telling yourself, I'm going to lose the weight. The weight doesn't respond to that declaration. So applying for the program does not mean that you are suddenly going to get a different result dating. I feel like I have to break it down for you guys to understand. Just because you say I'm tired doesn't mean you are going to stop attracting men that are illiterate, toxic, emotionally unavailable. That is not how a shift is made. You need to do the work. The work involves you making a different decision. When I say making, I didn't say saying a different decision. I said making, like if you say, okay, I want to lose the weight. Fine, that's the first step. You've acknowledged it. What's next? You need to get into action. So, fine, that means, okay, maybe including fruits in your diet. Maybe making sure you drink a certain amount of water. I think 3 liters is recommended. Sam, if I'm wrong, sorry. That's my personal trainer, Sam. Anyway, saying I'm going to pass that exam. Do you know what it took me to pass the bar exam? I'm just going to share it. I literally started wearing glasses, guys. Like, I have a pair of reading glasses. I literally started wearing glasses to pass the New York bar exam. My eyes were twitching. I did not just sit down and say, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. And it just dropped on no, I read like my life depended on, my eyes were twitching. I had to get prescription lenses before I got that. And I prayed about it. I read, and I still remember. And I've been an attorney for close to 5 years, if not more, because my math is terrible. It didn't just drop on my lap. So I don't know why there's this assumption that, oh, okay, because I want to get married to the right man, he's going to suddenly appear. We're not in a Disney movie. You need to do some work. Okay? You need to do some work. This is reality. So this is a reality check. Like I said, my lives are going to be spontaneous, and I'm just going to be more direct with you guys. That's just the space I'm in right now. So that's another simple step that you need to take. It's simple, but I didn't say it was easy. Simple and easy is not the same thing. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy to cut that guy off. It's not easy to decide that you are no longer going to be texting that guy that you really have a crush on but doesn't give you the respect. But it's simple. It's literally a direction, but it's not easy to walk on it, Another simple step I want you to really understand to meet your husband is you need to start qualifying the way you commit to men. So what I mean by that is a lot of you are in relationships that are not even defined. So what I mean by that is, this man has all the access to you. He's not your boyfriend. You're already his girlfriend. You don't even know why you're his girlfriend. he hasn't earned your exclusivity. What I mean by that is he hasn't earned that level of access to you, but you're readily making it available to him. So what we do in Wife in Waiting is like group coaching. Literally the way I'm talking to you guys is the way I talk to my clients in Wife in Waiting. Constant reality check. It's not just once in a while. On a consistent basis, we're checking you. We're checking you into reality, because our goal is to make sure that you're on your path for marital manifestation, right? Wherever that journey is. And there's no judgment. Every sister's journey is different. We're there to guide you. So what we constantly do in our group coaching, kind of like this, but on a private platform, is we make sure that, I find out where you are in your dating process. Are you in a relationship? Some of our sisters are in a relationship. Some of our sisters are single. Some of our sisters are actively dating, but they're all on a journey. And I check you into where you need to be in your own reality. So it's not a hypothetical situation like you're trying to apply something you picked from our page or you picked from one of our posts. No, it's a specific coaching for you on what you need to do next, based on what I know about your process, about your dating process. And I know every single sister, every single client of mine. In fact, our alumni, I still know them. I'm even talking to one right now. I spoke to some yesterday, because I'm invested, right? I want to see you win. I want to see you enter the relationship that I know God desires for you. I'm highly invested in you stepping into the marriage I know God has called you to. This is not a joke for me. This is not a game. This is a calling. Okay, and like I've explained, a calling, you can't ignore it. It's a calling. It's of interest to me to see you win when it comes to marriage. That's why I'm being real. That's why I'm being honest, right? And that's what we provide our sisters with, the opportunity to do that. So if you're ready for that, I want to take that step. Then apply to the program. Just click the link in bio and you can apply, or send me a DM saying wife. That's WIFE. And you'll get details about how to go about the application process. Okay? How do you meet someone? You meet someone the same way you meet other people. You go out, you connect, you make yourself sociable, approachable, you have conversations. Do not make your profiles private on social media. That's one quick thing I will say. You are actively involved in putting yourself in social situations where you are connecting with people. There is something I was breaking down for my Wife in Waiting sisters in our last coaching call. To connect with a quality man, it's the quality of conversation you're having. Think about the last boring conversation you had. Maybe somebody you were talking to, you just wanted to get out of that conversation, whether it was out of obligation, you were entertaining it. Maybe it was a particular superior, supervisor, a family member, family friend, whoever. You just felt obliged to listen. And think about the last conversation you had that lasted longer than you expected. It was probably with a friend, somebody you were very comfortable with. It's the same way with dating. The quality of connection is important. If the connection is not, what I mean by connection is the way both of you communicate, the way you converse, the way you relate with one another. If there's no quality in that connection, do not expect a quality outcome. Do not expect a quality man. Do not expect him to give you a quality level of interest. He wouldn't. The same way I show up at a Chanel store is not the same way I show up at the marketplace, because there are two different environments. And if you are convicted about using the apps, I want you to ask yourself what exactly is your conviction around it. What is wrong with using an online dating app? What's your conviction about it? What's your issue with it? Where is that conviction coming from? Is it coming from your flesh or your spirit? Because sometimes what we think is a spiritual instruction is actually a flesh-led decision. Sometimes what we think is a spiritual instruction is a flesh-led decision. God never said that, but your flesh said it, and it sounded like what you wanted to hear. So it's important that you question where that conviction came from. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that you understand why for you that's a conviction. You tried it and it's exhausted because you're doing it the wrong way. That's not a conviction. That's just a wrong approach. You're going on online dating the wrong way. There's a strategy around it. We show our Wife in Waiting. Literally, we provide our Wife in Waiting clients, and all my clients have the strategy around how to use online dating to their advantage. There's a strategy around it. It's the way you're showing up. It's not the app. And I'm glad you were able to admit that. Because again, sometimes a conviction, a so-called conviction, is not a conviction. It's a flesh-led decision that disguises under a spiritual, will I say, prompting. It is not. And there are a lot of that in the church. I was convicted. What do you mean by you were convicted? Were you convicted in the sense that you were uncomfortable? Because that's not conviction. Were you convicted because it was not a decision you wanted to take? So it's important that you understand what you mean when you're saying conviction. And you can only get that level of clarity when you have an active relationship with the Holy Spirit. Like when you're constantly talking to him. He's not going to be happy with every decision you make. I'll tell you that for a fact. But it's good to have that. That's why it's a relationship. It's not every decision that your friends have made, that your family has made, that you're happy with. But it didn't stop the connection you had with them. So work on that. Poo, 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 poo. Okay, is it okay for a lady not up to 30 to be part of the program? Absolutely. We have sisters, we have clients in wife in waiting that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s. We have clients in the program of different ages. It's not by age. Age is just a number. It's not by age. It's by desire. You know, are you ready to do the work? Are you ready to commit to the process? Are you ready to show up? If that's you, then you're in the right space. You're in the right program. I never ask what's your age before you become a client of mine. When I say I never ask, I mean I never ask it from the standpoint of, oh, if you're a certain age, that means you can't enter our program. No, because that's not the work I'm doing here. As long as you're a Christian professional woman that desires to get married and is ready to do the work and very ready to invest the time, the finances, the effort involved, then we can work together. Absolutely. You know, I'm ready. It's just a question of if you are ready for me to help you. Really, that's all it is. How does one join the mentorship? Click the link in my bio to apply for Wife in Waiting. Okay, so Wife in Waiting is our group coaching program. So that means I coach you in a group, and that's where I show you how to connect to quality men, how to, clarify your dating process so you are making the right decisions when it comes to commitment. So literally, what happens when you join is you have full access to our dating curriculum. You have full access to our coaching system where I will be coaching you along with our other clients on how to date. Okay, so just click the link in bio to apply, or send me a DM saying wife. Just send me a DM saying interested, and we'll have a conversation. I'm not answering questions that are too personal because I do not have enough information about it. Let me just add that in. If you want advice, you can send me a DM with your question and I'll be able to guide you on the tools that we have available for you to advise. I cannot advise you. That would be irresponsible of me. If I don't know the full context of the situation and I think it's too personal, I wouldn't advise you on our IG Live because I don't want you to take my advice out of context and I don't have a full understanding of the situation. So if you're in that particular category where you have a personal situation that you find yourself in, just send me a DM with the question and I'll tell you how I can assist you, okay? How do you go about online dating? So what you just need to do about the online dating process is understand that it is another way to meet people. It's not the only way. I personally recommend it because it puts you in a position to make more connections. It is we've had clients that have met their spouses through online dating. We've also had clients that have met their spouses through offline dating. I personally recommend it because it's a great way to practice the dating process. And what I will say as well is you show up online the same way you show up offline. You can't just set up an app and expect it to work for you. You want to use it. You want to be consistent on there. You want to be having conversations, trying getting to know people, and doing the same thing offline as well. So if you want to dive deeper into that process, then we do it in our program. Okay, so you can apply for Wife in Waiting for our proprietary method on how to do that. Okay, let's see this question. What do I do when he says he likes me and hasn't asked me out yet? Square with both acts like each other. What do I do? You ask him why he hasn't asked you out yet. The answer is always simple. Listen, another simple step. And thank you for that question. That's why I answered it. I'm not answering any other questions I've seen. They're too personal. Just send me a DM with, if I've not answered your question, send me a DM so I show you the right next step to take. But the summary of my answer to this question is, you ask him why he hasn't asked you out yet. You need to be active in your dating journey, okay? When I say active, I mean you are not a bystander. A lot of you are not participating in your dating. And a lot of married people find themselves in that position as well. I've also had married couples, married women, men even as well, reach out to me that they are not happy with their situation in their marriage. A lot of you are approaching dating as if you are just trying to have a wedding as opposed to have a marriage. You need to participate. You cannot sleepwalk through the way you date. When I say sleepwalk, you can't just wait for a man to approach you, wait for him to decide that he wants to date you, wait for him to decide he wants to be exclusive, wait for him to choose you as the woman he wants to marry. You also need to know what you desire and translate that into the way you date. So all these questions around why hasn't he asked me out, why can't you tell him that, what's wrong with you having that conversation? And what you need to understand about men as well, it's not about the question, it's about how you ask the question. Just like any normal conversation, if I'm talking to you, if I'm shouting everything I'm saying now, you are going to take it differently than the way I'm talking right now. Like when I'm talking at a measured tone and I'm pacing my words, it's going to come across to you differently than if I was shouting and I was aggressive. It's the same thing with men. You can have that conversation. It's just a question of how you have that conversation and when you have that conversation. That's it. Okay, so it's not about what do I do. You're not helpless. You are involved. So involve yourself, right? Have that conversation with him. Talk about it. Make it a priority for you to be able to clarify. That's why I say by clarifying your dating process. Okay, now that's why like in Wife in Waiting, what we make sure our clients have access to is a dating pathway. So what I mean by dating pathways, whether you're single, in a relationship, whether you're dating or you're even engaged, you know exactly what you should be doing at wherever you find yourself, because that pathway is important. A lot of women don't know where they are. You just don't know where you are. You don't know if you're in a relationship, like some of the questions I've seen here. You don't know if you're in a relationship. You don't even know if you're single. You don't know if the guy likes you or if he doesn't like you. You don't know if you're dating him or maybe he's your friend. You don't know where you are. And that's the problem. That's where you need to start from. You need to understand where you are so that you can get to where you're going. Of course, I can't just come out of my house with no direction as to where I'm facing. Of course, I'm not going to make any progress. Of course, I'm not going to go anywhere. Of course, I'm going to be confused. I'm going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to be frustrated because I don't have a direction. It's the same thing with dating. Of course, you're frustrated, you're tired, you're exhausted because you don't have a direction. You don't know where you are. You don't know what's going on around you. That's why I say you have to start with you. And that's why with Wife in Waiting, the first thing we look at is you. We look at you like, okay, what's going on with you? We give you a very clear pathway to understand exactly where you are so that you can start moving in the right direction. A lot of you even know where you are, but you are facing the wrong direction. So what I mean by that is, have you ever gotten lost? Like maybe you were trying to visit a friend, they moved to a new environment, you were trying to get there, Google Maps. As you know, in some locations, Google will lead you straight off the bridge. Like Google doesn't even know where you are. But you know where you're going, you know where you are, but you just don't know how to get there. So some of you are in that process in dating where, okay, fine, I know that I'm single. I know that I'm in a relationship. I know I'm dating somebody. But I have no idea how to take it to the next level. I know that, yes, I'm interested in this guy, we're in a relationship, but I have no idea how to get him to see me as his wife. I have no idea whether I even want to marry him. That is also very dangerous because you don't even know where you're facing. So what we do with Wife in Waiting is we make sure you know where you are, where you want to get to, and how to get there. The connection, like from where you are to where you want to get to, which is marriage, and how to get there, which is your dating pathway. And we do this with our curriculum. It's self-paced. As soon as you join the program, you have access to it. I was talking to some new sisters in our program, and they're already doing the work. Even if you're going through divorce, even if you are divorced, you're going through separation, you are still qualified for the marriage God desires for you. I want you to hear me. You are still very qualified. A lot of us disqualify ourselves. Okay? A lot of us disqualify ourselves from the dating process. We disqualify ourselves because we don't think we deserve it. You know, kind of like when you see that a job is available at a particular company and you disqualify yourself, you don't even apply. Like, oh no, like it's too advanced. Oh no, like I'm not qualified. You've counted yourself out. You didn't even put yourself in. And for some of you, that's the issue. You're assuming that, oh, because I came out of a toxic relationship, because I'm divorced, because I just had a horrific experience with an ex, I don't deserve a good marriage. I don't deserve a good man. And that's not true. That's just a lie of the enemy. That is not true. You need to give yourself the opportunity to make that happen. Right? And by doing the work. Okay, so, and I want you to understand our process, wife in waiting, our process, our framework is very simple. Literally, if you commit 60 minutes a week to our process, you will be on the path for your own marriage. It is very simple. It's not cumbersome. And that's the gift about knowing, or about going with somebody that knows that knows directions, following a guide. You know, when you're going with somebody that knows exactly where you're trying to get to, that knows exactly every stop, every roadblock you're going to face, you're going to get there faster. So our framework provides you with that opportunity. It doesn't take a lot. Literally 60 minutes a week. And you'll be able to know exactly how to date differently. That's all we require. Just 60, because we work with busy professional women. You know, we have clients in our programs from different locations, whether Nigeria, Ghana, UK, US, Canada. We have clients in different locations. So we're fully aware, you know, that we're working with professional women. Your schedule is close to maxed out. You know, you're tired of your dating process. For you want to make dating a priority. We are aware. That's what the program is tailored for. So 60 minutes a week. I'm sure you can dedicate 60 minutes a week. That's 60 minutes in the span of 7 days to make dating work for you. I'm sure you can do that. You spend a lot more time watching shows, you know, faffing around and so to speak and everything else. I'm sure you can spend 60 minutes in a 7-day period to make dating work for you. And that's all we require in Wife in Waiting. Okay, let's see questions. What if you are someone who gets nervous when someone asks you out or starts freaking out because you have no idea how to start dating? So you've answered your own question. You start freaking out because you have no idea how to start dating. That's the answer. So you need to work on how you go about the dating process. I would advise you apply for Wife in Waiting. That's what the program is there for. I can't give you the summary of that answer here because I don't know your particular situation. So apply for the program, click the link in bio or hit me with a DM and I'll engage you in conversation. But you need to work on your dating process. You're nervous because it's unfamiliar. You're uncomfortable because you've never done it before. Not because there's anything wrong with the person or the fact that he's asking you out. It's because it's new to you. It's because you've never done it before. It's because it's unfamiliar. So what needs to be worked on is you need to become comfortable with it. You need to become familiar and you need to become clear about how it can work for you. So apply for Wife in Waiting, okay? And we'll walk you through that process so you're no longer nervous and you can start dating in a way that honors the marriage that you desire. So I'm seeing a question here about what do I do when a guy I have been talking to shows all the signs he likes me? Guys don't show signs they like you. They say it. Let's get that out of the way first. They say it. If a man likes you, you will know. He will tell you. He will come for you. He will be in your face. He will be on your phone. He will be texting you. He will be calling you. He will be talking to you. He won't be smiling, winking, talking to you, smiling and not saying anything. Let's just be clear. Men know exactly what they want. If you've ever had a guy that was interested in you, if you were in a previous relationship where you were pursued, you know exactly what I mean. He would make it clear. Men know what they want. If he's not making clear, he's not as interested as you think. Let me put it that way. I have a question here, and that's the answer to that question, sis. This is what I mean. You guys need to really take dating seriously. I don't know how else to say this. For me, it's nearly frustrating because I see exactly what needs to be done, but I don't know how to help you if you don't want to do the work, right? So it's like I'm seeing that, okay, you are looking at the problem the wrong way. You're looking at the problem the wrong way. The problem isn't that, oh, he's not interested or you're not sure what to do. The issue is that you're not even clear about what you desire. It's either you want to take dating seriously or you don't want to. If the guy is not taking it seriously with you, then you can't tell me that he's a serious person. Until and unless you start taking it seriously, don't expect to have serious options. Because you won't. Don't expect to have serious options. You're not going to. And taking dating seriously doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to say something that's slightly controversial. Taking dating seriously doesn't mean only putting a stamp that says I'm not having sex till marriage. Putting a stamp that says I'm not talking to any man that doesn't want to have a relationship. That is not taking dating seriously. Those are just standards that you use to show how you want to date. If you're not dating actively, you are not taking dating seriously. And you are not course correcting. So what I mean by course correcting, you're not actively working with how you can change your dating process. You are not taking dating seriously. You're just not. I'm going to tell you the truth. Because what tends to happen is that you start blaming those standards. And it's not the fault of the standard. It's not the fault of the standard that, oh, you start assuming, oh, because I said I'm not sleeping with anybody to marry, that's why no man. No, sis, that is not why that man lost interest. It is not because you are celibate. Let me just tell you the truth. It is because you are boring. It is because he's not interested in anything you are saying. It is because you haven't shown him that you are of a certain quality that he desires. And this goes the other way as well. It's because you're talking to men that have not shown you they are worthy of the kind of relationship you desire. It's because you're talking to men that have offered you the barest minimum and you are still entertaining it. That is why it is not going anywhere. It is not based on the fact that, oh, there are no serious Christian guys. Oh, there are no men that want to get married. That is not why. That is just an excuse. You are giving yourself excuses. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Because people that have operated with those standards and have not operated with those standards are getting married every day. So it is not about that. You are literally just looking for the nearest pole to place an excuse on. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. So you need to work on it. Please. I was going to beg you in Yoruba. Ejo. That's how we say by Yoruba. That's my Yoruba is not that strong, but my Edo is very good. Let me just say that. I'm Yoruba and Edo. Those are Nigerian tribes for you guys that are not from Nigeria. Please start doing the work. Let's see another question. You mentioned females also have to do the work. This is a struggle for those that are new here. I'm a Christian relationship counselor. Yes, I work with men, but 90% of my clientele is women. I've been called to help women of faith step into the marriages God desires for them. And I do this with our Wife in Waiting program. Our Wife in Waiting program is where I show you how to start dating to marry. That's where I walk you through our process, okay? And it's a transformative program. Think about it like you are taking a course to get a benefit after, so that to add to your life, so to speak. So that's what Wife in Waiting does, and that's where I put you through that process. So nobody should be telling me, how about the men, how about the men? That's not my concern. I'm focused on the women. That's where God sent me, so to speak. Yes, I do work with men. Yes, I have worked with men in the past, but my calling is for women of faith. Okay, so let's go to this question. You mentioned females also have to do the work. This is a struggle for some people. See, that's the word. If it's a struggle, then that means you need assistance. You can't do beyond what you know. So what I mean by that is you can't go beyond your capacity of understanding. So if you've reached the end of your understanding, that means that you've reached the end of your capacity at that point and you need assistance. So if it's a struggle, I will suggest that you work with somebody that can assist you. Okay, we are here with the Wife in Waiting program, if that's something you want to explore. If it isn't, that's also fine, but you definitely need assistance. It's like before you become a medical professional, a licensed attorney, you get promotion, there are certain qualifiers that need to happen. And if you need help with that, you don't know beyond what you know. That's just the truth, right? There was a time, I like running. I've been running. My mom is into sports. I think I must have gotten it from her. So my mom likes sports, she loves football. I didn't get any of that from her, but I got the love for exercise. But then I noticed that it became a struggle for me. What did I do? I got myself a coach that I've worked with for, in fact, he finds me annoying at this point, for a couple of years now. Because I wanted results and I knew I had reached the end of my capacity. Mind you, I've been running since I was a teenager. But I knew I had reached the end of my capacity to see results in that. So I got a coach to help me with that. And I started to see the results because I knew I had reached the end of my knowledge. And it's wisdom. Wisdom is profitable to direct. So if you're struggling, get help. It is not a point of pride to struggle with pain. It is not a point of pride. If you need help, get it. Okay? You have to do the work. You have to do the work. I keep singing it because a lot of women are not doing it. For some reason, women assume doing the work is just maybe, okay, using dating in context, just talking to a guy. That is not doing the work. Or taking a break from dating. That is not doing the work. That is just, how would I describe it? That is not an active step you're taking. It's a passive approach. You need to be active. Work implies there's some movement, there's some motion involved. So that's what needs to happen. So get help with that and start doing the work. Okay? By doing the work, I mean changing the way you date, approaching men differently, really understanding where you are on the dating journey and why you're there. You know, understanding how you can connect with the right man and commit to the right one. But it all starts with clarifying your dating process. And that's exactly what we do in the Wife in Waiting program. So if you want to work with me, that's the first place to go. Otherwise, I would advise that you do the work with someone that you feel has a process that you are comfortable with. But it doesn't change the fact that when you reach struggle, there is no pride in struggling with pain. There is no pride in it. So guys, let me clarify something. So once you click the link to apply, it is a scheduling calendar. Because once I review your application, I would know whether we need to have a conversation on the call or not. So thank you for that. So the application link is a scheduling calendar. Okay, so once I review the application within 24 hours, I will use the scheduling calendar to see the next step for you to take. So choose a time that doesn't suit you or suits you. It doesn't really matter, but schedule it in, and then you will see the application form for Wife in Waiting. Okay, thanks for that question. So yeah, that's how you apply. So if you see a scheduling calendar, that's the right link. It's the only link in bio. So click there, choose a date, choose a time, and then you'll see the application form. And I will be reaching out to you in 24, max 48 hours. Some of us were conditioned that men do most of the work and women must learn how to receive. Okay, so this is a great question. Where do we draw the line before we start acting masculine? So the problem with the dating process in the faith is there's been a lot of conditioning based on, oh, the man will just show up. And we all know that's not true. Or, oh, you know, the man God has for you will just drop from the sky. I don't think they did it intentionally. I just think it's a result of how dating and marriage has been taught on a massive scale in the Christian faith. It doesn't work like that, as we all know, right? You don't meet men that are just ready to propose to you and get married immediately. And if you met such a man, you really do still want to take him through the same process. Now, there's a feminine side to dating and a masculine side. So the reason I like this question is because it gives me the opportunity to explain the difference. Doing the work does not mean do the masculine side. It means do the feminine side of dating. The masculine role in dating, a man's role in dating in the faith is to pursue. That is, to share his intention with you, to be clear. That's why I said if a man desires you, you will know. He will be calling you, he will be texting you, he will be actively trying to see you, he will want to be in your business. That is how they pursue. A woman's role is to position, and that's where the work needs to be done. Positioning is not passive. Positioning is active. It means creating opportunities for men to meet you and for you to meet men. Connecting with men in a quality way where you can vet and qualify whether or not you want to proceed and move further in the process of getting to know that person. Committing to the right man for you. All of these are active decisions. That is the feminine side of dating in the faith. That's what I mean by do the work. Clarify exactly how you're currently dating. A lot of you are dating passively. You are not showing up in your feminine. You're not even showing up in your masculine. And the reason you're not showing up, the reason you're not attracting quality men, a majority of that reason is you're not showing up in your feminine. Yes, you're showing up as a woman of faith, but not as a woman of faith that is aware of her feminine. And that's a very important part. And trust me, I've literally gone through multiple stories in scripture, or rather multiple accounts to be accurate, of couples. There's Isaac and Rebecca, there's Jacob, Leah and Rachel, there's Esther and King Xerxes, there's Deborah, there's Abigail. There was an active feminine in the way that they connected with their spouses. So what I mean by active feminine, I mean that they had an active role to play. Ruth literally laid at Boaz's feet. Esther literally showed up to the palace and went through a course of beauty treatments. Rebecca left her people and followed a stranger that turned out to be a family, related to the family, to another part of I don't even know what I was, to another location to meet Isaac without seeing him. Eve followed God. She had to walk, obviously, to follow him to meet Adam. There is an active feminine that has to be involved in your dating in your dating process, but a lot of women are not doing that. You are just sitting down and waiting for it to happen, and that's not how it works. So when I say be active in your feminine, I mean do the work in that sense. Clarify what path God has placed you on. Every woman I just mentioned in scripture had her own dating path. So what is your dating path? And that's what we show you how to do in the Wife in Waiting program. We literally have it. We have multiple templates, but one of my favorite is the dating style template, so that you know exactly what your style looks like. So start knowing how to apply that style to your dating process, and then use that to connect with men, because that is a natural way for you to connect with men, to be able to have conversations with them. Some women are really good at connecting with their words. Some women are really good at having presence. Every woman has an active feminine that she needs to engage with, especially when you do it professionally. But when I say professionally, you have a way around how you go about your work in the office, with colleagues, networking in your business, but you need to translate that into intimacy. So the way it shows up professionally is not the way it's going to show up intimately. And that's what we show you how to do in our program. We show you how to make that shift, so that you are able to activate your feminine in a way that allows you to connect with men in a quality way. And then finally, commit to the right one. A lot of you are committing to men that simply just ask. It's not enough for him to ask. What is he offering, and does it align with what you desire and what you have to offer? There is an art to commitment as well. So that's what I mean by doing the work. None of what I just said is masculine. No, I don't think in anything I said that you should chase the man. Don't call him back for 2 days. I didn't say any of that, because that's not how this is done. Okay? You meet your future husband by becoming the wife that he desires to marry. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. That's all. And that's why our program is called Wife in Waiting, because we show you how to become that wife. Okay? I'm not guaranteeing you marriage. Have clients gotten married in our program? Yes. Have clients met their spouses? Yes. Have clients broken toxic dating cycles? Yes. Have we seen this happen? Yes. Literally, I was on the last live I was on. 2 people came on. One said she said a prayer and she's been married for 9 months now. Another gentleman met his spouse on our page. I'm not in control of how that happens. What I do is I help you get into alignment. That's what my calling is. So I've never told a client, even clients that are now married, I never told them at the point of working with them, yes, you're definitely going to meet your husband, by using our process. What I guarantee is I'll put you on that path, instead of getting lost, bumping into the wrong men, trying to find your way back into the dating process, being confused by what a guy actually wants with you. I'm literally just going to give you the guideline, so that you know exactly what you need to be doing to get to the fastest, for the fastest and simplest route to your marriage. Okay? But yeah, that was a fantastic question. Thank you for asking that. You see, I'm seeing a lot of questions that are around the passive process in dating that women take. This is exactly what I mean. And this is another example. This question: when a guy calls you his girlfriend without clearly asking you out, is it a concern or does it matter? Why can't you talk to him about that? That is literally just a conversation. When do you ask me to be your girlfriend? I don't recall that conversation. Again, it's about the way you say it. It's not about what you're saying. Obviously, you don't say it the way I just said it now. There's an art to it. That's what I mean by activating your feminine. Flirtation is one of those ways. But yeah, that's a conversation. You're constantly having to, impress your standards and your boundaries, so that you are constantly attracting a quality man. This is even when you're in a relationship with a man you desire to be a quality, with a man you consider to be quality. For him to keep refining that experience for you, you have to, constantly communicate that desire. And this is one of those things that you have to do it for that to happen. Okay, and that's why we have our coaching in Wife in Waiting. The coaching is the practical part of it. Our curriculum is the process. Once you join, you have access to our curriculum. 60 minutes a week, that's all it involves. Literally, I said 60 minutes a week, I didn't say a day. For you to start aligning. The answer is so simple. That's what I mean. Dating is not difficult. It's simple. It's simple. The answer is always simple. Like, that's one of the revelations I've had lately. Dating is not difficult. It's very simple. It's just the way you're going about it is making it difficult. Our process, literally, immediately you join the program, our curriculum is available to you and you can immediately start. I was just talking to a client that just joined Wife in Waiting, and she said, one thing I always hear, very enlightening. A lot of things are starting to click. Now it makes sense. Do you know what it is to now, have you ever tried walking somewhere with no vision? You're going to be falling down, tumbling, hitting walls, as opposed to if you're using your eyes and you're walking with vision. You won't even notice, you won't even have a lot of issues because you're not actively jumping into problems. And that's what we do with our program. Like, you have vision. We're showing you, like, okay, this is where you are, and this is the curriculum to show you exactly where you want to be and how to go about it. And then the coaching is the practical part. That's where I work with you specifically to know how to go about your dating journey and how to make adjustments in your own experience. And that's what we do with our clients. Okay, once you start applying our curriculum, you will see that you want to get the coaching as well. And the dating experience will be a higher caliber and quality for you. So yeah. That's my answer to that question. I don't recommend dating apps. I don't. If you're not in our program, I will not be doing that because I have no way to keep you accountable. I'm a lawyer, okay? So I'm very aware of taking responsibility. And what I will say is make sure that you do your research. You can Google this information. Whatever you want to, whatever app you decide to go on, just take responsibility for that process. If you want our guidance on that, then you come into our program so I am that invested so that I can, help you to make sure you're using it the right way. The devotional, this is a great question. Do I need to join the devotional? I already bought all the devotionals. Well done on getting our devotionals. I'm sure that you have seen they help you to understand how to clarify your dating process. Our devotionals are focused on helping you to get clarity about where you are and how to start dating the right way. The program so that's where we show you not only how to clarify, but how to connect with quality men and make sure that you're committing to men the right way. I don't do that in the devotional. I can't put that in writing. It is a program for that reason. Wife in Waiting is a program for that reason. It is an intensive. That's why we make it between 6 months to a year. Because if you want to see results that are long-lasting, you need to be in a container that provides that opportunity. And that's what Wife in Waiting does. The devotional, great. Yes, absolutely. It's a great place. Even within the Wife in Waiting program, we provide our sisters with devotional guides every single week. Because we don't play with your spiritual growth either, in as much as we emphasize being practical about your dating process. Both are equally important. So yes, the devotional is not the same thing as the program. So the final thing I'll say is, again, dating is meant to be simple. It is not hard. It is very simple. So if you want to go about dating, with my assistance, you're ready to get into the intensive work, apply for Wife in Waiting, click the link in bio. It's a scheduling link because I want to make sure that if, we see the need for a call, you have previously scheduled one. So click the link in bio, schedule it, answer the questions. You'll get a response from me within 24 to 48 hours. If you want more conversations around, you want to talk to me more about the program, you want more clarity around how we work in the program, feel free to drop me a DM just saying interested wife, or just saying hi. I respond to all my DMs. If you ever send me a DM, I'm sure I respond. Okay, make sure to share this with your friends. And I look forward to reading your applications in the Wife in Waiting program. Final thing I will say is we are changing the investment options for Wife in Waiting from next month. So, now is as good a time as any if you intend to join before we make those changes in the investment in the program. Okay? So, see you guys next time. Bye.